off because I took my credit card off because I found out that Towanda has been using my credit card to pay her phone bill.
My phone bill?
It's official. The Fed recently became aware of Towanda Braxton's name. According to people close to the FBI's Atlanta field office, Towanda's latest bankruptcy case involved more than just poor money management. Following the discovery of fresh papers connecting unreported income and property transfers, it is being investigated as possible bankruptcy fraud. When the breach initially surfaced, I recall browsing social media sites. Tamar Braxton was being tagged by everyone who wanted to know if she had given the feds a tip. To be honest, the timing seemed far too convenient. When showcasing their receipts, a fan put it flawlessly. You no longer believe that Tamar Braxton is insane? She was mentioned as a creditor by her sister, Towanda. It was a gift lie. Overnight, that one post became viral. The 2019 Chapter 7 complaint, in which Towanda claimed Tamar owed $35,000, a loan Towanda maintains was a gift, was already being reviewed by the government by morning. However, investigators now claim that a single line on a bankruptcy form may be considered a false declaration, which is illegal under Section 152 U.S.C. This is when things get crazy. There was more to the warrant than just her bank account. According to insiders, Towanda may have transferred property in Georgia to her husband's name to conceal assets from the trustee. Tamar apparently made a down payment on the same house, which she brought up to Towanda on television. And take this, Tamar bluntly stated, "I know where you live because I paid the down payment," during an old Braxton Family Values tape.
You live because I put down your down payment.
You sure did. Thank you so much for
And
that.
now that
Thank
you
you
got
so
this
much for
little
the gift.
accident, give me my money back. That was not
You
a gift.
promised a guy. Yes, it was. But it's
No, you
okay.
didn't.
Fans now believe Sister Shade wasn't the only one who said that. It was proof, because the FBI apparently demanded credit line records connected to that exact address shortly after it aired. This is how the purported phone bill scam was discovered, according to our inside sources who followed the case. It was best summed up by one fan. "Towanda is really rude, paying a $35,000 home loan and 6 phone lines for a year for 4 years? I would never talk to you again, girl." I initially believed that people were simply being dirty. However, things start to make sense when you see that the FBI's case actually refers to long-term, recurrent phone service charges that are recorded under Tamar's name. What appeared to be a family argument could have been a fraudulent paper trail. The fact that this isn't even Towanda's first run-in with the law is frightening. If you look into her past, you'll find that she was arrested in Atlanta in 2005 for theft by receiving and forgery. The FBI seems to have remembered the old accusation, even though it quietly disappeared. The subject that is currently dividing the fans is whether or not Tamar reported her own sister. Since the federal government requires receipts, someone had to turn over those 2019 bank statements. And you begin to question if this was self-defense or sibling retaliation when you see Tamar's name trending alongside the FBI witness once more. However, there is more to consider before drawing any judgments, particularly regarding Towanda's claimed involvement of Tamar and even Tony in her financial predicament without their permission. The streets began screaming one name, Tamar Braxton, as soon as news of Towanda's arrest appeared on blogs. It wasn't just idle rumors either. The timeline's somewhat too flawless alignment caught people's attention. Fans now claim that Tamar sent a series of now-deleted cryptic tweets just days before the federal audit supposedly hit Towanda's file, suggesting that she was tired of her sister's falsehoods. Recall that in 2019, TMZ verified that Towanda owed Tamar $35,000. Tamar referred to this as a personal debt, while Towanda insisted it was a gift. The FBI's fraud case now revolves around that one disparity, because it is a false disclosure under bankruptcy law to classify a family loan as a gift or to understate your responsibilities. However, this is the portion that is driving fans crazy. When questioned by detectives, Tamar purportedly produced evidence of financial transfers. An insider with knowledge of the Braxton camp claims that Tamar's lawyers verified she had financial records proving the funds were sent to Towanda's escrow account for a down payment on a house. Recall the moment Tamar said, "I know where you live because I paid the down payment," on camera? That intensity wasn't limited to petty reality TV. As it happens, that line may have been actual proof. And this may help to explain why, shortly after filing for bankruptcy, Towanda allegedly transferred her Georgia home into her husband's name. Because you all know that when you start transferring assets mid-case, the feds don't play. This is how the concealing of property clause is used to bag people. However, the unearthed video from Braxton Family Values that showed Tamar confronting Towanda about a cease and desist letter she never got sounded particularly strange. Tamar told her directly, "I know where you live because I paid the down payment. For years you have been robbing me." "Girl, you stole Tony's man," Towanda retorted. "Don't even begin with me."
Stealing and helping?
But what you steal?
I don't steal anything.
You don't?
What I stole?
You stole men.
Who's the man that I stole?
Tony's.
After that show aired, people started linking earlier rumors that Tamar had slept with Carrie Lewis, Tony's ex-husband, and even Michael Molden, Jermaine Dupri's father. That line changed everything. Suddenly, there was more to the Braxton sisters' drama than simply debt. It turned into a matter of financial and emotional betrayal. Indeed, the family's once famous reality TV receipts could potentially be used as federal evidence. Although Tamar's team did not explicitly denounce her sister, according to an insider, they did cooperate completely when questioned and provided the FBI with all the invoices they requested. Nevertheless, the innocent witness narrative is not being accepted by social media. Tamar is not perfect by far, but Towanda telling Tony to call the police and press charges is a little extreme, a fan tweeted. The Braxtons only get together when the cameras roll, as will be made clear even to Tamar. It's war off camera.
Say anything, the only thing that brings us together is the cameras.
It's amazing how reality TV and real life began to merge into a single extensive study. Every old episode, every on-air dispute, and every snarky comment that used to be a throwaway line now appears to be a possible lead in a fraud investigation. However, it wasn't the money that truly gave this situation a gloomy aspect. It was the extent of the betrayal. Although Tamar may have assisted the authorities, her supporters believe that she did so to keep her reputation intact before being drawn into the same legal controversy. By the time Towanda's arrest was widely reported on gossip websites, an old rumor had reappeared and completely altered the situation. The one about her taking her own mother's SSI check, which was revealed on Tony Braxton's podcast in 2020 by Zoe, his former secretary. He even labeled Evelyn wicked for allegedly stealing her Social Security check. I have no idea what to say to someone so nasty and thirsty that they can steal SSI checks. And that's not all. According to reports, Towanda was detained for forgery and theft by receiving in Atlanta in 2005. As a result, this latest FBI investigation appears to be more of a pattern than a misunderstanding. If you've been watching Braxton Family Values since the first few seasons, you are already aware that their financial issues have always been present. However, the consequences are more serious than a sister fight this time, because the entire Braxton heritage begins to crumble from the inside out when you combine decades of family hatred with federal fraud allegations. Even Tony, who generally mediates disputes, recently gained notoriety following the viral video in which she called to cancel Towanda's event.
I can't wait
But
to
I won't
see
be
it.
able to be there. That's why I was calling you.
That made me very sad.
I know.
If wasn't about the schedule, according to fans. It has to do with distance. Toni has been openly distancing herself from Towanda, perhaps to safeguard her wealth and reputation. To be honest, who could hold her accountable? The last thing you want is for your personal accounts to be discovered while the FBI's financial crimes team is investigating your family. However, the aspect that most affected me was how the sisters' silence became a tactic. Trina used to share sisterhood hashtags or family selfies on social media. Now, when the news broke, there was not a single word or even a repost. That quiet spoke it all. Additionally, some fans connect dots online that are too near for comfort. Someone wrote, "So Toni thinks it's all right to help out the family even if it means they are stealing from you." 6 phone lines were allegedly charged over 4 years, and it is from the same individual who said she shouldn't have to pay them to sing background music. You see, the Braxton brand was founded on image and loyalty rather than profit, so that's where things become complicated. However, every time they attempt to unite, a financial issue splits them apart. From Tracy's death to Toni's tax liens, to Tamar's public mental health struggles, it seems like the true story emerges every time the cameras stop filming. One significant item in Towanda's files caught the attention of court observers, even though she hasn't posted much online since the arrest. She claimed to have $277,000 in assets, but $547,000 in obligations, including a $50,000 Tesla that she was purportedly still operating on the show. One fan did it flawlessly. A $50,000 Tesla shouldn't be driven by someone with just $150 in their account. There's a problem. According to insiders, Towanda may spend up to 5 years in prison if found guilty of manipulating financial statements, because the federal government is currently examining everything from phone bills to property records. Additionally, Tamar's camp hasn't made an official statement. There are times when you have to let the truth do the talking. The internet went crazy over that alone, because this could be one of the largest family betrayals in reality TV history if it turns out that Tamar was the one who discreetly sent material to the FBI. There is yet one more twist, so it doesn't stop here. One that links Towanda's spouse, Toni's silence, and a few dubious offshore payments to what insiders are now referring to as a multi-year concealment plot. People believed it was over when they learned that Towanda's business account had supposedly been frozen by the FBI, but that was only the beginning. Insiders said that investigators discovered that a portion of her cosmetics company's earnings had been transferred through a consulting firm under her new husband's name, the same man who now has legal ownership of their house in Georgia. She most likely believed the action would safeguard their riches, but it apparently backfired severely. Federal prosecutors are now viewing the transfer as an attempt to conceal. This is the point at which it gets darker. Toni Braxton allegedly quietly removed her name from all joint Braxton family businesses months ago, according to those close to her team. Although Tamar hasn't spoken anything in public, the old photos of Towanda's bridal shower, the one with the Bridgerton theme, resurfaced and moved admirers to tears. Tamar and Toni did not appear.
Said she was going to do the bridal shower. She's not doing the bridal shower. Somebody else is making sure everything is right for the bridal shower. I mean, I just thought that everybody would be, you know what I'm saying, happy and excited and wanting to be a part of it and want to be involved, but I'm not getting any of that, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
When the IRS issued a back tax warning on Towanda's household account, it appears that the first wave of federal inspection began. At the time, people believed it was simply petty sister drama, but now it feels like they were already distancing themselves. Some of you may recall that the cameras are the only thing that unites them, and at this moment, it couldn't feel more true. Once the epitome of sisterhood ideals, the Braxtons are now entangled in cyber mayhem, federal fraud, and treachery. According to insiders, if Towanda cooperates and divulges information about others who profited from the bogus files, her next court hearing may involve a plea agreement. Translation: this might get worse if Toni's or Tamar's funds even come into contact with those accounts. According to reports, Towanda is disputing everything. However, at this moment, stillness doesn't sound like strength. It seems like a tactic. That's when it dawned on me. Money is not the only issue here. It has to do with legacy. In the past, the Braxtons were the most admired R&B family in America, singing about love, solidarity, and faith are 6 sisters. However, the same thing that kept them shining, their mutual celebrity, may suddenly prove to be their undoing. The most absurd thing, to be honest, is that this may not even be finished. Our insiders claim that the FBI's case file contains references to other family-related financial accounts that are still being investigated. If Tamar or Tony are mentioned anywhere in those financial records, they may be the next people to be questioned. The Braxton name might never recover if that occurs. No reality show could ever plan such a catastrophe. A family business founded on skill, shattered by wealth, and brought to an end by treachery.